Alright, so today I'm going to be smoking some bacon. So this is a whole whack load of pork belly that I picked up a few weeks ago. It was cured, a really simple cure. It was just some cure number one and then 2% salt and 3% brown sugar with a nice dash of fresh cracked pepper. And so I've got these guys sitting in here. I rinsed them off this morning and they're hanging out inside the smoker, just developing a bit of a pellicle. Just to kind of help speed that up, I've just got a fan set up blowing in here, just to create a little bit more air movement. But all in all, it shouldn't take too much time. With that air movement, it's a little bit quicker than having to let it sit overnight and develop a pellicle, especially when I'm dealing with this much bacon, just because it would occupy a lot of space in either my curing chamber or my fridge. Once you have to have them all kind of set up with airflow around them. So give these a little bit more time and then I will fire up the smoker and cold smoke them for a bit. Alright, so the belly's had some time to kind of do its thing, form a wee bit of a pellicle on it, just making it ready to take on some smoke. So what I've got here in my super sweet massive brick smoker is so I've got these racks set up here. I'm going to be smoking here with charcoal briquettes. I found that's the best thing for my particular smoker, especially with the lack of availability of proper hardwood and stuff just where we live. So I tend to use these. So I've got a small pile of them considering the size of this smoker. It'll work really well to create just a nice cold smoke for several hours. I've also got some chunks of maple wood here that I got from a friend of mine who had a whole bunch of maple wood railings and stuff that he chopped up. So anyway, I'm just gonna get my grill torch fired up here just to get the charcoal smoking a little bit. Okay, here we go. I don't need to get it too much, I just want to get it caught enough that it's not going to go out on me. So while that's smoking, I'm just going to come over here, I'm going to kick open my vents just a little bit, get a little bit of airflow going on here. Just a touch, put it on the other side as well. Clear away the smoke. Snow. There. Just giving me a little bit of airflow. Okay, I'll let that go for another minute or so. Okay, so the charcoal's caught, so that's going to start to produce smoke. Well, it obviously already is. I'm also going to set just one of those little lumps of maple wood on there, and eventually it'll catch. I find that between the charcoal and just the occasional lump of the maple wood, it'll produce enough smoke to create a nice easy thin blue smoke coming out of the top of the smoker here. I also have just a layer of fire bricks preventing any of that direct heat coming up from the charcoal to be impacting any of the belly. So I'm just going to close things up here and we'll see how the smoke looks in a little bit. There's a shot of some of the smoke coming out of the top. You kind of just barely see it there coming out against the dark of the underside of the chimney. And then, just to give you an idea, I mean, the thermometers aren't really accurate at this point. All I know is it's nice and cool in there. It's about 1 or 2 degrees Celsius outside today. You can see here we got all the smoke coming out, just gently flowing through there, nothing too thick, keeping it nice and light. I find that this method works really sweet for cold smoking cheese as well. I'll have to do that again here sometime soon. So I'm just going to let this go and keep refilling any of the charcoal that I need and adding little chunks of wood as I go. I just like to keep a pile of about that going all the time. Just with the size and the thermal mass of all the fire brick and the smoker, that tends to work pretty well without raising the temperature but still producing a decent amount of smoke. Just another shot of some of that sweet smoke coming out of there. Again, you can see it's not white or billowing or anything like that. When you wind up with that, you get a product that kind of tastes that burnt, acrid, kind of nasty smoke flavor. This takes a little bit longer, but winds up with a far higher quality of smoke flavor in your meat. I gotta take a look on the inside here too. Just woo! Fun times. All right, I'm gonna keep letting that go for a while. All right, so smoke's no longer coming out of there, so it's time to add some more coal and some wood here. So we're just gonna get some more briquettes on there. Of course, the charcoal is going to produce some smoke in and of itself, and I actually really like the smoke flavor that gives. But we'll add a little bit of maple to that as well. So by the time that stuff gets caught, the charcoal gets caught, and kind of finishes smoking, it'll be getting onto the maple there as well. So within the next 10 minutes or so, I should have some nice new smoke happening there. Awesome. So we've had about 5 hours of smoke now. So why don't we take a peek and just kind of see what's going on in here. Nice. Yeah, we'll let it keep going for just a little bit. Oh, the maple caught fire. Probably throw a little bit more coal in there. I like it to smoke for another hour or two, and then I find usually 6 to 7 hours is definitely more sufficient with this smoker, just the way it works for my bacon. So throw in a little bit more. Okay, it's been 8.5 hours since we initially fired up. The smoke died off just over an hour ago. So we had roughly 7 hours of pretty quality maple smoke, which again for this smoker is pretty decent. It won't be overpowering smoke in the bacon, but it'll be really complimentary. The kids and I will all love it. So this was approximately 1.5 pigs, well, exactly 1.5 pigs worth of belly. Pretty impressed. I can't wait to try it out. So the plan here is I'm going to let it sit overnight in the smoker. It's going to dip just below zero for a few hours overnight, but other than that, it'll be great temperature just for the stuff to off gas. I can leave it on these racks. They'll have lots of airflow here and whatnot. They'll be perfect. Tomorrow it's going to be time to slice, vacuum seal, and freeze. So pretty excited. All this belly, I think that means that we took this one up to 11. So here's the bacon, all ready for slicing and packaging. Got my sad little slicer here. This Cuisinart has lasted me for over a decade. It's in dire need of replacement. In fact, I was hoping to have my new one, which is considerably nicer here for this event. However, it's delayed in shipping. But I got this bad boy all keyed up and dialed in for this. So let's slice a thing of bacon here. All right, untangle some of that. So we've got a bunch of bacon here. Some of that's a little fatty. That's okay because it still has a decent ratio. Out of these pieces here, like some of this, like, well, if I wind up with some stuff that's that fatty, I keep that aside, and I wind up using that with my beef roasts for making fresh ground burgers. But that's another story. So when all was said and done, I wound up with 30 packages of bacon. I kind of got impatient and obviously didn't try to arrange them too pretty in there. But those are 30 packages at about 350 grams each. And then I wound up with 9 packages of this fattier bacon-like stuff here, which will be perfect again for making fresh ground burgers or cooking with. It's got the smoke flavor, the saltiness, and lots of fat, which is awesome. So yeah, thanks for watching, and keep her at 11.